Hi everyone, and welcome to The Sleepy Scientist. I'm really happy you're here. Tonight, we're going to go on a calm and quiet trip to learn something amazing. So get comfy, take a deep breath, and let's enjoy this peaceful science story together. Before we start, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from and what time is it for you right now? If you like relaxing science videos, don't forget to tap the like button. Now let's begin.
The journey of light begins, not in the vastness of the universe, but right before your very eyes. In the calm stillness of a room, where the light softly falls through a window or flickers in the glow of a lamp, light has already embarked on its journey. It's a quiet dance that begins at the sun, or perhaps a candle, stretching outward in ripples, as if the world itself exhaled light for you to witness. Imagine just for a moment the light that you see, the very essence of everything your eyes encounter. It comes from all directions, traveling like an invisible river, carrying with it the knowledge of the world. As light enters the air, it weaves through the atmosphere, reflecting off objects, bending ever so slightly as it passes through moisture, dust, and particles that float in the air. Each photon, a tiny messenger, carries information. Its journey from the source to your eyes is faster than a thought, but it holds an ancient story, one that speaks of stars, of atoms, of a universe in constant motion. As the light travels, it gently touches the surfaces of the world, and in that moment an exchange happens. The objects you see, whether the petals of a flower, the curve of a mountain, or the simplicity of a leaf, become the temporary home of that light. It is a brief union, lasting only a fraction of a second. The surface absorbs some of the light and reflects the rest, painting the image you see with the palette of colors. But how does it reach your eyes, this elusive force that can be so strong and yet so gentle? It enters through the lens of your eye, which acts like the window to your soul, bending and refracting the light with a precision so perfect it feels almost miraculous. This process, delicate and graceful, is as if the eye has its own orchestra, light entering from all directions, a symphony of tiny beams that need to be orchestrated just right to create the perfect harmony of vision. In the front of the eye, there is the cornea, clear as glass, offering the first gentle touch to the incoming light. This transparent surface helps direct the light toward the pupil, like a quiet guide leading the way. The pupil, unlike any other part of the body, changes its size constantly. It opens wide when there is less light, letting more in, and narrows when there is too much, like a curtain drawing close to protect what's inside. Through this simple, yet profound act, your eyes adjust to every moment, from the dawn of day to the quiet of night, ensuring that your vision remains balanced. Once the light passes through the pupil, it reaches the lens, a small, flexible structure within the eye that changes its shape to focus the light, like a musician tuning an instrument before a performance. The lens bends the light, guiding it to the back of the eye, to the retina, where the real magic happens. Here, the light hits millions of tiny cells called photoreceptors, and this is where the world you see begins to form. Photoreceptors are of two kinds, rods and cones. The rods are sensitive to light, working in low-light situations, while the cones are designed to detect color. Together, they create a vivid tapestry of experience, even when it seems as though everything is happening in an ordinary moment. The rods pick up the faintest movements, those subtle shifts in the shadows, while the cones bring color to life. The bright greens of a meadow, the deep blues of the ocean, and the fiery reds of a setting sun. The moment the light touches these photoreceptors, an electrical signal is born. This signal travels from the retina through the optic nerve, making its way to the brain, where the magic continues. You might think of this as the final act of the dance, a quiet and intricate conversation between the eye and the brain, where the signals become the images you recognize. In this final moment, the brain does not just see what is there, but rather, it interprets it. It asks questions. It connects the dots between past experiences and present observations. It creates a world for you to navigate, full of shapes, colors, and motions that are not just seen but understood, felt, and remembered. The world that light paints for you is not an absolute picture, but a construct, a mental map that allows you to make sense of your surroundings. In every moment, the eye and the brain work together, merging the past with the present, memory with perception. The colors you see are not just wavelengths of light, but are deeply influenced by your emotions, your experiences, and even the time of day. The golden hue of morning might bring peace, while the dim blues of twilight may stir reflection. These subtle shifts show that the way you perceive the world is as much an inner experience as it is a sensory one. Now imagine, just for a moment, closing your eyes. In that brief darkness, the world continues to exist, but it's quiet, calm, still. When you open your eyes again, the world floods in as though a door has been opened. The tea that pours through your eyelids paints the scene before you. It's this quiet transition, the blink of an eye, that allows you to move through life so effortlessly. Each time you blink, the world briefly shifts, just enough for you to reset, to prepare for the next visual adventure. Your eyes, with their delicate mechanisms and quiet brilliance, are constantly creating this dance with light. They give you the gift of vision, a gift that brings not just beauty but a deeper understanding of the world around you. Every glance holds the potential for discovery, for connection. Every beam of light, every flicker, speaks of a larger universe, of a cosmic symphony that is always playing and always waiting for you to listen. The dance of light and sight is one that never truly ends. It's a continuous exchange, a reminder of how beautifully connected your body is to the world, and how in every moment light touches you, moves you, and leads you into the vastness of the world around you. As we wander through the world, light becomes the silent guide of our journey, ever present and ever changing. It moves with us, dances around us, and reflects our very essence. But what happens when light is not just a simple guide, but an experience that speaks to the soul? Imagine for a moment the way the sun moves across the sky. At dawn, the light is soft and golden, slowly stretching over the earth, inviting everything to awaken. The light that touches your skin is not just a physical presence. It carries a sense of peace, of a new day unfolding. The way it reflects off the trees, the dew on the grass, the birds in the sky, it is a moment of beauty that can almost be felt, a warmth that reaches deep within. Yet this simple act of light traveling through space holds a deeper mystery. As it enters your eye, the beauty is not only in what is seen, but in the journey it makes through the lenses of your eye. Each light wave is a traveler, making its way through the vast expanse of your world, encountering the structures of your eye with such grace, such purpose. It travels through the lens of your eye, bends slightly, and focuses on the retina. Here, the light hits the photoreceptors, tiny beings so small and sensitive that they respond to even the faintest trace of light. The rods capture what's subtle and faint, while the cones reach for the vivid hues, the reds, the blues, the greens. Together, they weave a picture. When we look at the world, it's almost as if our eyes don't see everything in the present moment. They are not just passive receivers, but active participants in a dialogue with the light. Your eyes are constantly shifting, moving, adjusting. A soft flicker in the corner of your vision becomes the focus. A slight change in light guides your attention. You may not consciously know it, but your eyes are constantly scanning, picking up details, making sense of a constantly changing landscape. It's a dance that happens so naturally, so effortlessly, that we often overlook it. Your eyes are not simply seeing. They are interpreting, creating, and sometimes even imagining. Think of the way you perceive shadows. Shadows are nothing more than the absence of light, and yet they carry so much meaning. They are not mere dark patches. They evoke a feeling, a sense of mystery. When light falls at an angle, shadows stretch and shift, creating shapes, form, and depth. These subtle contrasts allow you to perceive the world in 3 dimensions. Without the play of light and shadow, the world would be flat, devoid of texture and depth. Every object you see, every curve of a mountain, every wave in the ocean, exists because of light's delicate interaction with the environment. Without light, there would be no texture, no contrast, no depth. The dance of light, then, is not just a visual act, it is the very act of life itself. As the day progresses, light changes. In the afternoon, it becomes harsher, more direct, casting sharper shadows, making the world appear more defined. The golden hue of morning transforms into the starkness of midday, where every detail is visible and every color seems amplified. The interplay between light and the eye is not simply about seeing, but about feeling. It's as if your eyes have a relationship with the light they receive. Just as music fills the air with sound, light fills the world with color, texture, and depth. And in return, your eyes respond, guiding you through the ever-changing world around you. Yet the true magic of vision lies not just in the light that enters the eye, but in the way the brain interprets it. After the light dances through your eye, it travels along the optic nerve to the brain, where the world you see is pieced together. The brain takes the faintest of signals, those fleeting bits of information, and assembles them into something recognizable. It turns patches of light into objects, faces, and scenes. The brain's ability to make sense of the incoming information is what gives meaning to the world you see. The colors you perceive, the shapes you recognize, are all constructs of your mind, built from the delicate interplay of light and neural activity. This process is not always perfect. Sometimes the brain makes mistakes. It may misinterpret shadows or fill in details that aren't really there. And yet, you trust it completely. It's a system that has evolved over millions of years, an adaptive mechanism designed to help you navigate the world. Take, for example, the way you recognize faces. Your brain is particularly sensitive to the shapes of human faces, something that has evolved over time to help us connect with one another. The moment you see a face, your brain immediately starts to process the details, the curve of the cheeks, the arch of the eyebrows, the line of the jaw. But it doesn't stop there. The brain fills in the emotional context, the history behind the face, all based on subtle cues from the way the light falls. The smile, the squint of the eyes, the tilt of the head, all these details help you interpret not just the visual information, but the emotional weight that comes with it. This ability to blend light with emotion, science with feeling, is what makes vision so incredibly powerful. Your eyes do more than simply see the world. They connect you to it, allowing you to interpret not just the objects, but the feelings, the relationships, and the stories behind them. When you look at the face of a loved one, it's not just their features you're seeing, but the memories, the experiences, the connection that has been built over time. Your eyes, in their quiet way, bring together light, emotion, and understanding, creating a world of richness and depth. And just as light changes throughout the day, so too does your perception. The soft twilight of evening brings a sense of calm, of peace. The world bathed in the gentle fading light seems to soften. Colors become less vivid, more muted. The world becomes more introspective. Your eyes, ever sensitive to these shifts, adapt with grace, allowing you to experience the world not just as it is, but as it feels. In a way, the dance of light and vision is never truly over. With every glance, with every shift of your eyes, a new experience is created. The light that enters your eyes will never be the same again. Each moment, each fraction of a second, is a unique story that unfolds in the tapestry of your perception. And as you move through your day, from the golden dawn to the cool of twilight, your eyes continue to receive the gift of light, forever interpreting the world with wonder, with beauty, and with quiet understanding. There is something profoundly intimate about the way light enters your eyes, something that connects you not only to the world around you, but to your very essence. Each time you look out into the vastness, whether it's a crowded city street, a tranquil forest, or the endless expanse of the ocean, light is there, a faithful companion that guides you through your day. It does more than illuminate the path. It brings a sense of understanding, a feeling of being in tune with the world. But as the day draws to a close, something changes. The light that once bathed the world in its golden embrace slowly begins to soften, as if the earth itself is exhaling in preparation for the night. The fading light, now infused with the soft shades of dusk, invites a different kind of reflection. It's a quiet, introspective moment, a reminder that light, like all things, is ever-changing. Just as the light of day fades into the cool blues and purples of evening, so too does your perception shift. With the softening of the light, the world around you takes on a new quality. Shadows grow longer, and the shapes that once seemed so sharp and clear now blur into the gentle contours of the night. The sun, now hidden beneath the horizon, leaves behind only the memory of its warmth, like a whispered promise to return. And in that space between day and night, the world feels more fluid, more delicate, much like the light itself. There is a stillness in the transition from light to dark, a moment suspended in time where everything seems to breathe in unison. Your eyes, too, feel this shift, adjusting not just to the light but to the change in the atmosphere around you. The process is automatic, yet there is a kind of beauty in it, a poetry that speaks of the intricate harmony between your body and the world. It's as if your eyes have become part of this great unfolding cycle, the rising and setting of the sun, the ebb and flow of the world, all intertwined with the quiet dance of light. But what does it mean, this constant exchange of light and sight? Is it simply a process of seeing, or is there something deeper at play? To truly understand the profound relationship between light and vision, we must look not just at the mechanics of the eye, but at the way it shapes our experience of the world. The dance of light is, in many ways, a sea of perception. It is not just about what we see, but how we interpret what we see. The brain, as it processes the signals from the eyes, doesn't merely capture images, it creates them, molds them into something meaningful. And this creation is not just a cold, scientific process. It is infused with emotion, with memory, with a sense of connection to the world around us. Consider the way you feel when you see the soft glow of the moon on a quiet evening, or when the sun's warm rays touch your face after a long winter. These moments are not just visual, they are emotional. They stir something within. Light, in its most gentle form, has the ability to evoke a sense of peace, a feeling of belonging to something larger than yourself. Your eyes, and the light that enters them, become a bridge between the physical world and your inner world. In the same way that the colors of the sunrise seem to speak of new beginnings, the fading light of the sunset speaks of endings. Yet, both are part of the same cycle, a reminder that everything is connected. Light, in its endless dance, offers us a mirror of life itself, a journey filled with moments of clarity and moments of shadow, each adding depth and meaning to the other. Without the light of day, we would not appreciate the quiet beauty of the night. Without the night, we would never know the warmth of the morning sun. Both exist in a delicate balance, and it is this balance that shapes our perception of the world. And what of the moments in between? Those fleeting glances, those quiet observations that happen when you're not looking for them. Perhaps it's the way the light reflects off the surface of a puddle, creating a ripple that seems to dance with life. Or the way a shadow shifts, momentarily altering the landscape before returning to its original form. These moments, small and often unnoticed, are the quiet spaces where the magic of light truly resides. They are the subtle shifts in perception, the tiny changes that, when put together, create the tapestry of your world. But there is one more thing to consider in the dance of light, the way it shapes not only what you see but how you feel. Light, it turns out, has a profound effect on our emotions, on our state of being. The way the light falls across a room, the way it casts long shadows or creates soft pools of brightness, can affect your mood in ways you might not even realize. Think about the way a room feels when bathed in the soft, golden light of the morning, or the sense of calm that comes with the cool, muted light of evening. Light is not just a physical phenomenon, it is an emotional one too. It has the ability to lift us, to soothe us, to make us feel grounded in the present moment. In the quiet of the evening, when the light has softened and the shadows have lengthened, there is a sense of calm that washes over you. The world slows down, and for a moment everything seems still. It is in this stillness that the dance of light becomes most apparent. In the fading glow of the day, we are reminded of the impermanence of things, of the way light, just like life, is always shifting, always changing. And yet it remains constant in its ability to guide, to soothe, to illuminate the world. As the night falls and the stars take their places in the sky, you are reminded once again of the connection between your eyes and the vast universe. The light that once came from the sun now comes from distant stars, their light having traveled across millions of miles to reach you. And in that light, you find the same sense of wonder, the same sense of connection that you feel when you see the world in its simplest form. Light in its infinite dance unites us all, across time, across space, across the vastness of the universe. And so, as you close your eyes at the end of the day, remember that the dance of light does not end. It continues, just as your perception continues, guiding you through each moment, each new experience. The world, with all its beauty and mystery, is always there, waiting to be seen, waiting to be felt. And the light, ever faithful, will always be there to guide your way. Sound in its purest form is a quiet whisper that stirs the very air around you. It's not seen, yet it's felt in the stillness of the world, vibrating through the spaces between the visible. Every note, every murmur, every vibration that travels through the air carries with it a memory, a story, a feeling. In the quiet moments when you close your eyes and listen, sound becomes the melody of life itself, soft and inviting, waiting to be heard. It begins, not with your ears, but with the air. The air around you, always moving, always shifting, becomes the messenger of sound. It carries the invisible ripples of vibrations that emanate from all things. These vibrations, though unseen, are as real as the very earth beneath your feet. Imagine a stone falling into a pond, sending ripples across the still water. The ripples travel outward, touching every part of the surface, just as sound waves travel through the air, rippling outward in waves. Each vibration in the air is like a tiny message, carried by the wind, seeking to be heard. When you speak, when you laugh, when you listen to the hum of the world around you, it's these vibrations, these sound waves, that travel outward, reaching for the ears of others. But how do these waves, so subtle and intangible, turn into the experiences we recognize as sound? The answer lies in the intricate dance between the air, the ear, and the mind. The journey begins when sound waves enter your ears, like soft ripples in a calm pond. As the waves move through the air, they reach the outer ear, which acts as a funnel, guiding them inward. The ear, with its delicate curves and folds, captures the sound and directs it into the ear canal. It's as if the ear is cupping the world, inviting the sounds to come closer, to become part of your experience. Once the sound reaches the eardrum, something remarkable happens. The eardrum, a thin membrane at the end of the ear canal, vibrates in response to the incoming sound waves. These vibrations are not just physical. They are the first step in a process that will transform sound into a language that your mind can understand. The eardrum vibrates, gently responding to the frequency and intensity of the sound, and sends these vibrations onward to the tiny bones within the middle ear, the hammer, anvil, and stirrup. These bones, the smallest in the human body, work together like a finely tuned orchestra, amplifying the vibrations and sending them further into the inner ear. The stirrup, the smallest of the three, presses against a delicate membrane that marks the entrance to the cochlea, a spiral-shaped structure that lies deep within the ear. Here, in the cochlea, the true magic begins to unfold. The cochlea is lined with thousands of tiny hair cells, each one sensitive to different frequencies of sound. These hair cells, delicate and fragile, sway in response to the vibrations that pass through the cochlea. As they move, they trigger electrical signals that travel along the auditory nerve, like a message being sent through a vast network of pathways, reaching the brain. It is in this moment, when the electrical signals reach the brain, that the world of sound begins to take shape. In the quiet chambers of the brain, these signals are processed, interpreted, and given meaning. The brain, with its intricate web of connections, takes these raw signals and translates them into something familiar: music, speech, the rustling of leaves, the distant sound of thunder. It's as if the brain is a great composer, turning the vibrations of the world into a symphony that speaks directly to the heart. The signals are not just heard, they are felt, experienced in the deepest parts of the brain. They evoke memories, emotions, and images, creating a world not only of sound but of meaning. Think of the sound of a loved one's voice. When you hear it, you do not just hear the words, they carry with them a history, a bond, an intimacy that transcends the simple vibrations in the air. The brain, with its complex wiring, fills in the emotional context, the subtle cues of tone and rhythm that speak of comfort, familiarity, and connection. It's not just sound, it's the feeling of being close to someone, of hearing their voice after a long absence. Sound, in this way, is not just a physical phenomenon. It is an emotional experience, a bridge between the self and the world. But it's not just in the quiet moments of connection that sound becomes powerful. The world around us is filled with noise, a constant hum of sound that never truly stops. It's the sound of the wind in the trees, the chatter of a crowded street, the hum of electricity, the beating of your own heart. All of these sounds create a tapestry of experience, woven together in the fabric of life. And yet, it is not just the presence of sound that defines our experience, but the way we listen to it. When you hear a song, for example, you don't just hear the notes and rhythms. You hear the emotions behind them, the story the music is telling, the joy or sorrow in the melody. The same is true when you listen to the sound of rain on a roof or the distant call of a bird in the morning. Sound is not just a series of vibrations. It is a language, a way of communicating that goes beyond words. It speaks to us in ways that touch our hearts and stir our souls. But in a world that is constantly filled with noise, it can be easy to forget the magic of sound. We become so accustomed to the background hum of life that we forget to truly listen, to pause, to immerse ourselves in the sounds that surround us. And yet, when we do listen, when we truly open ourselves to the sounds of the world, something shifts. The noise becomes music, the chaos becomes a symphony. In the quiet moments when we step away from the distractions of life, we can hear the silent song of the world around us, a song that is always there, waiting for us to listen. And just as the world is filled with sound, so too is the world filled with silence. Silence, in its own way, is as powerful as sound. It is in the moments of stillness that we hear the whispers of the world, the quiet vibrations that are often drowned out by the noise of daily life. The sound of a breath, the rustling of leaves, the soft murmur of distant waves, all of these are present, waiting to be heard, waiting to be noticed. Silence, in this sense, is not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything that is too quiet to be heard. It is in the silence that we connect most deeply with the world around us. As you go through your day, remember that the magic of sound is not just in the loud, attention-grabbing noises that fill your world. It is in the subtle, the soft, the hidden. It's in the laughter of a friend, the quiet rustling of the trees, the distant hum of the city at night. Sound is always there, always speaking to you, always inviting you to listen more closely. And when you do, you will find that the world is not just a noisy place. It is a symphony waiting to be heard. Sound is not simply an event that happens. It is an experience, one that shapes the way you perceive the world. It's more than just vibrations traveling through the air. It is a language, a communication that transcends words. Imagine a world without sound. It would be as if everything existed in a timeless stillness, a quiet that can never be truly understood, only felt in the absence of its presence. Sound, in its infinite forms, fills the spaces between moments, giving life to the inanimate, turning the silent into the alive. When you walk through a forest at dawn, the world is alive with sound. Each leaf seems to whisper, each bird sings its song as if the trees themselves are humbly listening. There is a hum in the air, a vibration that resonates deep within the earth, carried by the breeze that passes through the branches. The sound of nature is not just heard, it's felt. The rustling leaves, the distant chirp of a bird, the sound of the wind itself, they all vibrate through you, making you a part of the natural rhythm of the world. Each sound, no matter how small, creates a ripple in the world around you, reminding you that everything is connected, that you are not separate but an active participant in the dance of sound. Yet, while nature is filled with these pure, unfiltered sounds, the world we have created as humans is filled with noise. It surrounds us at every turn: traffic, chatter, machines, alarms, and a constant, ever-present hum. Noise is everywhere and it demands our attention. But is it sound? Or is it simply noise, an unintended disruption of the harmony that exists in the natural world? The difference between sound and noise is not just in the source. It lies in the perception and the emotional response it triggers. Sound, as a part of our perception, carries emotional weight. A person's voice, a lullaby sung softly to a child, a thunderstorm in the distance, all of these sounds evoke emotions. Some bring comfort, others cause fear, joy, sadness, or nostalgia. The moment you hear a loved one's voice, the warmth it carries speaks to your heart more than the words themselves. It is the timbre, the rhythm, the pitch that speaks directly to your sense of connection. The same is true for music. When you hear a song that stirs you, it is not just the melody or the lyrics you are responding to, it is the way the sound is woven with memory, with experience, with emotion. Sound also acts as a bridge between the past and the present. The sound of a familiar song can transport you to another time, another place, where emotions once stirred by that same melody are reignited. This phenomenon is not only due to the familiarity of the sound, but because sound is deeply tied to memory. You hear a song, and suddenly you are brought back to the place where you first heard it, the people, the moment, the feelings. The brain doesn't just store sound as a random collection of vibrations. It stores it with context, with meaning. This is why a familiar sound can evoke such a strong emotional response. But the brain doesn't just remember sounds. It also uses them to create meaning. When you hear the sound of a door creaking, your mind immediately fills in the context. It doesn't need to see the door move or the person behind it. The sound alone gives you enough information to understand what's happening. This ability to understand and respond to sound without the need for visual confirmation is part of the brain's ability to process the world around you efficiently. It's a survival mechanism that has been honed over millions of years, helping humans react to their environment, to potential dangers, and to opportunities. Imagine standing in a crowded city, the sounds of traffic, chatter, and footsteps all blending together into a single overwhelming roar. At first, it might feel chaotic, disorienting, and loud. But over time, your mind begins to filter through the noise, isolating the sounds that matter, and allowing you to navigate the environment without being overwhelmed. Your brain becomes an expert at recognizing patterns in the chaos, picking out familiar voices, understanding the rhythm of footsteps, identifying the familiar honk of a horn. It is this ability to focus on specific sounds, while ignoring others, that allows you to function in a world so full of noise. In a sense, sound is a tool, a way of organizing the world, of separating the important from the unimportant. It's a tool that helps you connect, to interact, to communicate. But sound is not always straightforward. It is filled with ambiguity, with subtlety. A word spoken softly can carry more weight than a shout. A piece of music can evoke an emotional reaction, even without lyrics. Sound can be as clear as a bell or as elusive as the wind, and it is this ambiguity that gives it its power. Consider the sound of rain on a roof. At first, it may seem like a simple noise, a background sound that you barely notice. But as you sit with it, as you allow it to fill the space, it becomes something more. The soft patter of the rain, the rhythm of each drop, the way it changes from light to heavy, it becomes a song, a lullaby that soothes, a natural rhythm that calms the mind. The sound itself does not change, but your perception of it does. It is this subtle shift, this ability to find meaning in the simplest of sounds, that makes hearing such a profound experience. Our relationship with sound is not just passive. We actively create sound, shape it, and use it to communicate, to express, and to connect. Music, language, even the way we laugh or sigh, all are forms of sound that carry meaning. Music, in particular, is a language all its own. It speaks directly to the emotions, bypassing logic and reason, touching something deeper. Whether it's a song that reminds you of a loved one, or a melody that fills you with energy, music has the power to shape the way we feel, to elevate our spirits, or to bring us to tears. It is in the spaces between the notes, the subtle changes in rhythm and pitch, that music reveals its magic. Sound is also deeply tied to our sense of space. The way sound moves through a room, the way it echoes off walls, the way it bounces off objects, all of this shapes our experience of a space. When you step into a large hall, the sound feels different than in a small room. The echoes, the way the sound fills the space, changes the way you perceive it. This interaction between sound and space is not just physical, it's emotional as well. A quiet room may feel intimate and peaceful, while a noisy room may feel chaotic or overwhelming. The sounds that fill a space shape the emotions that space evokes. And then there are the sounds that speak to us in ways that words cannot. The gentle hum of a distant engine, the rustle of leaves in the wind, the soft crackle of a fire. These sounds carry with them an essence of the natural world, a connection to something greater than ourselves. They are the sounds of life, of nature, of the universe at large. And in them, we find comfort, a sense of belonging to something vast and timeless. As the day fades into evening and the world grows quieter, there is a stillness that takes over. The sounds of the day, the chatter, the traffic, the voices, fade away, replaced by the gentle hum of the night. In this quiet, the subtle sounds of the world around you become more apparent. The rustling of the leaves, the distant call of an animal, the soft whistle of the wind. These are the sounds that fill the space, bringing with them a sense of peace. The world may be quiet, but it is never truly silent. Sound in its most subtle form is always present, always speaking, always waiting to be heard. And as you sit in the quiet of the night, listening to the sounds around you, remember that the world is not just filled with noise. It is filled with music, with stories, with emotions. Each sound you hear is a note in the symphony of life, a song that is always playing, always evolving. All you need to do is listen. Sound surrounds us constantly, a river of vibrations moving in the air, guiding our awareness of the world. The act of hearing is, in many ways, an act of engagement with life itself. Every sound you hear, whether it's the laughter of a friend, the rustling of leaves in a forest, or the hum of a distant train, is an invitation. It's an invitation to feel, to connect, and to understand the world more deeply. And though sound is invisible, it carries with it the essence of everything it touches. It speaks not just to the ear, but to the heart, to the mind, to the very core of your being. As we go through life, our senses become our constant companions, guiding us through the world. But sound, in particular, has a unique ability to transform a simple moment into something more profound. A song that transports you back in time, the familiar sound of a voice that evokes warmth, the quiet moments in nature that create a sense of peace. These are the sounds that speak directly to the soul. They are not just heard, they are felt, and in that feeling, something deeper stirs within us. And yet, sound, like all forms of perception, is not just a passive experience. It is active. It shapes us as much as we shape it. Think of the way a simple conversation can bring joy or sorrow, how the sound of a laugh can lift your spirits, or how the absence of sound can create a feeling of tension, of something missing. The ability to hear is not just about capturing vibrations, it is about making meaning out of them. It is a process that begins the moment the sound enters your ear and continues as the brain interprets it, weaving it into a tapestry of memories, emotions, and experiences. Consider the sound of a thunderstorm. At first, it may feel like a distant rumble, a soft murmur that echoes across the sky. But as it draws nearer, the sound grows louder, more intense. The crack of thunder, the sharp staccato of raindrops, the wind howling as it rushes through the trees, each of these sounds evokes a different response. To some, it may bring fear, a reminder of the power of nature. To others, it brings a sense of awe, of wonder, of feeling connected to something vast and untamable. The sound of a storm, much like the sound of life, is never just noise. It carries with it emotion, meaning, and experience. And in that sound, you are not just an observer, but a participant, engaging with the world around you in a way that is both deeply personal and universally shared. The world of sound is in many ways a reflection of the world of light, but where light shows us the world through sight, sound allows us to feel it. When you listen to a piece of music, you are not simply hearing a series of notes. You are feeling the rhythm, the pulse of the music, the emotion that flows through it. Music has the power to express the inexpressible, to convey emotions that words alone cannot capture. A song can bring tears to your eyes, stir memories you thought you had forgotten, and fill you with a sense of connection to the world, to others, and even to yourself. Music, like all sound, is not just a sequence of vibrations. It is an emotional experience, a doorway into the deeper currents of the human soul. This connection between sound and emotion is something that has been explored for centuries, from the earliest forms of music to the modern sounds that fill our world today. We know that sound has the ability to affect our mood, to calm us, to energize us, to stir us. But what is it about sound that makes it such a powerful force? Is it the way it carries emotion, or is it something more? Perhaps it is the way sound connects us to the present moment, grounding us in the here and now. In a world that is constantly changing, sound provides us with a way to connect, to anchor ourselves in a moment. A familiar song, a comforting voice, the sound of rain tapping against the window. These are the sounds that help us return to ourselves, to the present, to the world we inhabit. The importance of sound is also seen in the way we communicate. Language itself is built upon sound. The words we speak, the tone we use, the rhythm of our speech, each of these elements conveys meaning far beyond the simple definition of the words themselves. When you speak to someone, it is not just the words that matter, but how you say them. The tone of your voice, the inflection, the pauses in between. The sound of your speech conveys emotion, intention, and meaning. It is a form of connection that goes beyond the literal and enters the realm of the emotional and the relational. In this way, sound becomes a bridge between hearts, a link that binds us together, allowing us to share not just information but feelings, experiences, and moments. But what happens when sound is absent? Silence, though often overlooked, has its own power. It is in silence that we can hear the deepest parts of ourselves, where we find clarity and reflection. In a world filled with constant noise, silence is a rare and precious gift. It allows us to reset, to pause, and to listen, not just to the world around us, but to the thoughts and feelings that lie within. Silence is not an emptiness, but a fullness, a space in which sound can emerge anew. It is in these moments of stillness that we can hear the sounds that matter most, the heartbeat of the world, the soft whispers of nature, the silent music that plays just beneath the surface of our awareness. The sounds of the world are not just random vibrations. They are a tapestry of meaning, of connection, of life. And yet, in the busyness of everyday existence, we often forget to listen. We become so accustomed to the noise, to the hum of the world, that we stop hearing. The The sounds of life, which once spoke to us, fade into the background. But when we take the time to listen, when we stop and truly engage with the sounds around us, we rediscover the world in a new light. We hear the quiet song of the world, the melody of existence itself. And so the dance of sound continues, always present, always waiting to be heard. Whether it's the sound of a voice, the rustle of the wind, or the quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat, sound is the thread that ties us all together. It connects us to the world, to each other, and to ourselves. It is in the smallest sounds that we find the greatest meaning. And in the silence between the sounds, we find the space to truly hear. The magic of sound, then, is not just in the noise. It is in the way it touches us, shapes us, and reminds us that, in the end, we are all part of this great, harmonious symphony. The world around you is a canvas, painted not just with color but with light. It is light that shapes the way you see the world, the way you understand the space you inhabit. The sky, the trees, the faces of those you love, all are illuminated by light, and it is light that makes them visible to you. And yet, we rarely stop to think about how this gift of sight works, how the light that surrounds us transforms into the images we experience. Imagine for a moment standing under the wide open sky, the sun gently bathing everything in its golden warmth. The light pours over you, not in a harsh rush but in a soft, diffused glow like the embrace of a gentle breeze. It touches everything, your skin, the trees, the clouds floating lazily above. You cannot see the light itself, but you feel its presence, its touch. And as the light interacts with the world, it is transformed into something more, something you can see, something you can feel. The journey of light begins long before it reaches your eyes. It starts in the vast reaches of space, where light travels through the vacuum, across millions of miles until it encounters the Earth. Light, in its most pure form, is a wave, a rhythmic pulse of energy that travels in all directions. As it travels, it interacts with the atmosphere, bending, refracting, and scattering in a dance as old as time itself. And as it reaches the Earth, it touches everything. The surfaces of objects, the leaves of trees, the faces of people, all reflect light back into the world. It is this reflected light that enters your eyes. When you look at a tree, for example, you are not directly seeing the tree itself. What you see is the light that reflects off the surface of the leaves, the bark, the branches. This reflected light carries information about the tree, its shape, its color, its texture. Without this light, the tree would be invisible to you. But with the light, you can see the tree in all its detail, each leaf, each bend in the branch, the play of shadows that shift as the sun moves across the sky. Your eyes, with their delicate mechanisms, are perfectly designed to receive and interpret this light. The process begins the moment the light enters the eye. It first passes through the cornea, a transparent layer that acts as the window to the world. The cornea bends the light, helping to direct it toward the pupil, which is the gateway to the inner workings of the eye. The pupil, unlike other parts of your body, is not a fixed structure. It changes size constantly, opening wide when there is little light and constricting when there is too much. This ability to adjust is what allows your eyes to function in all lighting conditions, from the dim light of early morning to the bright midday sun. Once the light passes through the pupil, it reaches the lens, a flexible, clear structure that helps focus the light onto the retina at the back of the eye. The lens works much like a camera lens, bending the light so that it forms a sharp image. This focusing process happens almost instantaneously, adjusting the shape of the lens to ensure that the light reaches the retina with perfect clarity. The retina, in turn, is where the magic happens. The retina is a thin layer of tissue at the back of the eye, lined with millions of tiny photoreceptor cells. These cells, known as rods and cones, are the key to transforming light into vision. The rods are sensitive to light but do not detect color. They allow you to see in low light conditions, picking up the faintest traces of light in the darkness. The cones, on the other hand, are responsible for color vision. They are concentrated in the center of the retina, allowing you to perceive the vivid hues of the world. When light hits these photoreceptors, it triggers a series of chemical reactions that generate electrical signals. These signals are then sent to the brain via the optic nerve, where they are processed and transformed into images. The brain takes the raw data from the eye and interprets it, filling in the details, adjusting the focus, and creating the rich, vibrant images you see. It is in this moment, when the light meets the retina and is transformed into electrical signals, that the world begins to take shape. The brain, with its intricate networks of neurons, processes these signals and assembles them into a coherent picture. But this process is not as simple as it may seem. The brain must not only interpret the shapes and colors, but also make sense of them, connecting them to your memories, emotions, and past experiences. When you look at a familiar face, for example, your brain does more than just process the physical features. It recognizes the face, recalls the memories associated with it, and fills in the emotional context. The smile on that face may evoke warmth, love, or nostalgia, depending on your relationship with that person. This ability to connect visual information with emotional context is one of the most remarkable aspects of vision. Your eyes do not just show you the world. They help you understand it, guiding you through a landscape not only of shapes and colors, but of meaning and connection. And yet, even as the brain processes this visual information, it is also constantly adjusting, constantly refining. The brain is a master at making sense of the world, but it does so through a process of continual refinement. It doesn't just accept the first image it receives. It constantly compares and adjusts, fine-tuning the details to create the most accurate representation of reality. This is why, when you look at an object, you may see it in different ways depending on the angle, the lighting, or even your mood. Your brain is not just processing information. It is interpreting it, adjusting it, making sense of it in real time. The ability to see is not just about receiving information. It is about understanding it. The eyes and the brain work together in an intricate dance, constantly communicating, constantly adapting. When you look at a tree, the light that enters your eyes is not just information about the tree itself. It is part of a much larger process, one that connects you to the world, to your memories, and to the larger story of your life. Your eyes, in this sense, are not just passive receivers. They are active participants in the creation of your experience. But there is another layer to this process, one that is even more profound. The way you see the world is not just about how your eyes receive and interpret light. It is about how you perceive it. Perception is a deeply personal process, influenced not only by the physical structure of the eye, but by your emotions, experiences, and even your expectations. What you see is not just what is in front of you, but what your brain believes to be in front of you, shaped by everything you have learned, everything you have felt. In this way, vision is not just a passive act of seeing. It is an active process of creation. The world you see is not just a reflection of light, but a reflection of your mind, your memories, and your emotions. The dance of light is not just a physical phenomenon. It is a mental and emotional experience, one that shapes the way you understand the world and your place within it. And so, the dance of light and vision continues, an ever-evolving process of perception, understanding, and connection. With every glance, every shift in the light, the world is revealed anew. The colors of the sky, the textures of the earth, the faces of those you love, all are brought into sharp focus by the quiet, constant dance of light. The world, as you see it, is not just a collection of objects. It is a symphony of light, color, and meaning, a dance that invites you to listen, to see, to understand. As you step through the world, light continues to be your constant companion. It is there in the glow of the morning sun, in the soft light of evening, in the flicker of candle flames, and in the faint glimmer of distant stars. Every moment is shaped by light, and every object you see, Every scene you experience is infused with the delicate touch of this ethereal force. But how does light, this silent traveler, become the vibrant world you experience? The answer, as we know, lies not just in the physics of light itself, but in the way our minds receive and interpret it. The process begins, as we explored earlier, when light enters the eye and is focused onto the retina. The retina then transforms this light into electrical signals that the brain can process. But the story of light doesn't end there. The true magic of perception lies in how the brain brings these signals together to create the world around you. Imagine standing in a field at sunset, watching as the golden light bathes the land in warmth. The horizon, where the sun meets the earth, is painted in shades of orange and red, and the trees cast long, stretching shadows across the ground. As you look, the scene seems to shift, to come alive in ways that are hard to describe. The colors of the sky deepen, the shadows lengthen, and the world seems to take on a deeper meaning. This is not just a simple visual experience. What you are seeing is more than the sum of light waves. It is a dance between light and memory, between perception and emotion. When light enters the eye, it doesn't just form an image on the retina. It triggers a response in the brain that goes beyond the physical act of seeing. The brain takes the raw data from the retina and begins to build meaning from it. It draws upon your past experiences, your memories, your emotions, to shape the way you see the world. This is why a sunset might evoke a sense of peace and nostalgia in one person, while it might stir feelings of longing in another. The same light is received by both, but it is interpreted differently because of the individual experiences each person brings to it. Light then becomes a bridge between the external world and the internal world of the mind. It is not just a passive force that illuminates the world. It is an active participant in the creation of your experience. Every color you see, every shape you recognize, is a result of this dynamic interaction between light and mind. The red of the sunset is not just a physical wavelength of light. It is a feeling, a memory, a connection to something deeper within you. The world is not just a collection of shapes and colors. It is a living, breathing experience, shaped by the interplay between light, perception, and memory. But how does this process happen so effortlessly? How does the brain manage to transform these fleeting bits of light into a coherent image of the world? The answer lies in the remarkable ability of the brain to integrate and interpret the signals from the eyes. When light hits the retina, it is converted into electrical signals that are transmitted to the brain via the optic nerve. But the brain doesn't just receive these signals. It processes them, categorizing them, organizing them, and fitting them into the larger context of what you already know. This process of interpretation is not limited to vision alone. It extends to all of our senses, which work together to create a unified experience of the world. The sounds you hear, the smells you smell, the feelings you feel, each of these senses contributes to the image that your mind creates of the world. But vision, in particular, is the most dominant sense, guiding your perception of space, depth, and color. Your eyes, with their extraordinary sensitivity to light, allow you to navigate the world with unparalleled precision. You can recognize faces, detect subtle movements, and gauge distances with remarkable accuracy. It is as if your eyes are constantly scanning, constantly gathering information, and constantly adjusting to the ever-changing light of the world. The brain's ability to create a coherent image of the world is a result of its immense computational power. It doesn't just passively receive information, it actively constructs meaning from it. When you look at an object, the brain doesn't simply process the raw visual data. It also makes predictions, draws conclusions, and fills in gaps. If you see a tree in the distance, your brain doesn't just see the trunk and leaves. It fills in the rest of the details: the texture of the bark, the shape of the branches, the way the wind rustles the leaves. It's as if your brain is constantly constructing a mental model of the world, using the light that enters your eyes as the raw material. And yet, despite the incredible sophistication of this process, vision is not infallible. The brain can make mistakes, can misinterpret the signals it receives. Sometimes, the mind can fill in details that are actually there, creating illusions or distortions. You may see a face in the clouds or perceive movement where none exists. This is a reminder that perception is not an objective reality. It is a subjective experience, shaped by the mind's interpretation of light. This ability to fill in gaps, to make sense of the world in real time, is what allows us to navigate the complexities of life. Imagine walking down a crowded street. The world around you is filled with movement, with people, with cars, with distractions. But your brain doesn't simply process each person, each object individually. It organizes them, filters out the irrelevant details, and highlights the important ones. It is this ability to focus on what matters, to ignore what is unimportant, that allows you to move through the world with such ease. But even in the most mundane moments, the brain's ability to create meaning from light is still at work. When you look at a familiar face, for example, your brain doesn't just see the features. It recognizes them, it connects them to memories, to emotions. It doesn't just recognize the shape of the nose, the curve of the lips. It recognizes the person behind them. It fills in the context, making the face more than just a collection of physical traits. It turns it into something personal, something meaningful. This ability to recognize and interpret faces is so ingrained in us that we often do it without thinking. It is an automatic process, one that happens in the blink of an eye, as if your brain already knows what it is seeing before you consciously recognize it. But vision is not always a passive process. It can also be an active one, influenced by your attention, your intentions, and your desires. When you look at something, your eyes don't simply receive the light that enters them. They actively seek out information, they move, they scan, they focus on the details that matter. When you are in a room full of people, for example, you don't simply see a sea of faces. Your eyes move from one face to the next, seeking out the ones that are familiar, that are important to you. The act of looking is not just about passively receiving information. It is about actively engaging with the world, seeking out the details that matter most to you. In this sense, vision becomes an active, dynamic process. Your eyes are constantly moving, constantly adjusting, constantly seeking out new information. The world is never static. It is always shifting, always changing, and so your eyes must adjust to keep up. And as they do, the world around you is constantly revealed, layer by layer, detail by detail. The beauty of vision lies not just in the light that enters the eyes, but in the way the brain interprets it, turns it into meaning, and presents it to you as a living, breathing experience. At the heart of it all, light is the key to understanding the world. It is the force that makes vision possible, the thread that connects you to everything around you. And yet, the world you see is not just a reflection of the light. It is a reflection of your mind, your memories, your emotions. The dance of light is not just a physical phenomenon. It is a mental and emotional experience, one that shapes the way you understand yourself and the world you inhabit. As the light continues to shift, as the world around you constantly changes, remember that your perception of it is always evolving. The dance between light and vision is not static. It is a continuous, ever-changing process, one that invites you to see the world in new ways, to explore new perspectives, to discover new meanings. And through it all, the light will continue to guide you, to show you the way, to reveal the world in all its beauty and complexity. As you look around, you realize that light isn't just a tool to see, it's a companion. It gently guides your every step, coloring your world with its subtle hues. The morning light spills across the earth, casting soft shadows and lending a sense of clarity to everything it touches. And yet, light is never the same. It shifts, it bends, it plays with the objects it illuminates, showing them to you in ways that are always unique, always fleeting. Light, in its quiet consistency, reminds you that no two moments are ever the same. Each second, each glance is an act of discovery, a fleeting dance that unfolds with each breath. When the sun rises, it bathes the world in warmth and color. It stretches across the sky, gently spreading its golden glow. It reaches into every corner of the earth, illuminating the leaves of trees, the faces of loved ones, the vast ocean that sparkles with life. You don't need to do anything to make this happen. Light simply is. It enters your eyes, filling you with a sense of wonder, with a sense of connection to the world. It's as if, in that moment, everything is revealed and nothing is hidden. The world is open to you, laid bare in the soft embrace of light. But what happens when the day shifts and the light begins to change? The shadows lengthen and the colors deepen. The light of the evening has a different quality, gentler, more introspective. It casts everything in a soft glow like the final notes of a symphony. The sky fades from brilliant blues to muted purples, and the earth seems to settle into a quiet rhythm. Your eyes, ever attentive, adjust to these changes, interpreting the world in a new way. The evening light doesn't just reveal, it transforms. It turns the world into something different, something more mysterious, inviting you to look deeper, to find new layers of meaning. Just as the light changes throughout the day, so too does the way you see. Your eyes, though seemingly passive, are constantly adjusting, constantly responding to the light that enters them. You may not be aware of it, but your eyes are always at work, shaping the world you see. They adjust to the changing light, focusing on what matters, filtering out what doesn't. Your eyes don't just take in information. They make sense of it, they organize it, and they create meaning from it. What you see is not just a reflection of the world around you, it is a creation, a construction of your mind, shaped by your experiences, your emotions, and your memories. When you look at something familiar, your eyes don't just register the details. They recognize them, they recall the past, I connect the present to the past. The light that touches an object doesn't just reveal its surface. It evokes memories, emotions, and feelings that are deeply personal. The way you see the world is not just about what is in front of you, it is about how your mind interprets it, how it connects the present moment to everything that has come before. Your perception is a tapestry, woven from threads of light, memory, and experience. The world, then, is not a fixed reality. It is constantly shifting, constantly changing, as your eyes and your brain interact with the light around you. This interaction between light and vision is not just a physical process, it is a deeply emotional one. The way you see the world is shaped by your emotions, by your state of mind, by your sense of self. When you are happy, the world seems brighter, more vivid. When you are sad, the light feels dimmer, more distant. Your perception is a reflection of your inner world, and light plays a central role in shaping that reflection. But what happens when the light fades? When the day turns to night and the world is swallowed by darkness? In the absence of light, vision becomes more difficult. The world around you is no longer as clear, no longer as defined. But even in the darkness, light is still present, though it may be faint. The stars twinkle in the night sky. The moon casts its soft glow over the earth, and the shadows shift in subtle ways. Even in the absence of the sun, the world is still illuminated, still alive with light. It is in the darkness that you learn to see with more than just your eyes. You learn to see with your mind, with your heart, with your senses. In the quiet of the night, when the world is still, the light that remains takes on a different quality. It is not the bright, clear light of day, but a more intimate, more reflective light. The stars are distant points of light, tiny beacons in the vastness of the universe. The moon, with its pale glow, becomes a symbol of quiet contemplation, a reminder that even in darkness there is light. The night, in its own way, teaches you that light is not just something you see. It is something you feel, something you carry with you, even in the darkest moments. This duality between light and darkness, between clarity and mystery, is at the heart of vision itself. Vision is not just about seeing. It is about understanding, about interpreting the world around you. And just as the light changes, so too does your understanding of the world. With each passing moment, with each shift in the light, you see the world differently. The world you see today may not be the same as the world you saw yesterday. The light has changed, and with it, your perception. But this change is not a loss. It is a gift, a reminder that the world is always new, always evolving, always offering new experiences to be had, new details to be discovered. When you look at the world, you are not just seeing what is in front of you. You are engaging with the light, with the moment, with your own inner world. Your eyes, your brain, and your emotions work together to create the world you experience. And in this dance between light and perception, between the external and the internal, you find meaning, you find connection, you find understanding. The world you see is not just a reflection of what is outside you. It is a reflection of who you are, of how you see, of how you understand. And in this dance of light, this perpetual flow between vision and perception, there is a quiet magic. It is a magic that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, that turns a simple glance into a moment of deep understanding. The world, as you see it, is alive with meaning, with beauty, with connection. And in each moment, as the light shifts and the world changes, you are invited to look again, to see again, to understand again. The dance of light continues, always shifting, always revealing, always inviting you to engage with the world in new ways. So, as you step through the world, remember that light is not just something you see. It is something you live with, something that shapes your every moment. The world you experience is a world of light, a world that changes with each passing second, a world that invites you to see with wonder, with curiosity, and with an open heart. And in that dance, you will always find new layers of meaning, new perspectives, and new ways of seeing the world that will continue to inspire and guide you, as the light of your eyes shapes the world you call home. Smell is a quiet, invisible guide, leading you through the world in ways that words cannot describe. It is the essence of the unseen, the unnoticed, yet it is always there, shaping your experiences with a softness that slips unnoticed beneath your conscious mind. Every scent you encounter tells a story, carrying with it a history, a memory, a connection to the world around you. And yet, the magic of smell is not in the scent itself, but in the way it connects you to your past, to your emotions, and to the very air that surrounds you. When you inhale the scent of a flower, it is not just the chemical molecules of the flower that you are experiencing. It is the story of the flower itself, the way it grows, the way it blooms, the way it interacts with the air. It is the sunlight that kissed its petals, the rain that nourished its roots, and the earth that cradled it. The scent of the flower is a reminder of the world's complexity, of the way everything is connected. The same is true for every scent you encounter. The smell of fresh rain, the scent of the sea, the aroma of food wafting through the air. Each scent is a story in itself, a moment in time captured and carried by the air, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be noticed. But how does the world of scent work? What happens when you inhale a scent, and how does it travel from the air to your mind, creating emotions, memories, and sensations? The process begins the moment the molecules of a scent are released into the air. These molecules, though invisible to the naked eye, are filled with information. They carry the essence of the object they come from, the sweet, floral notes of a rose, the fresh, earthy scent of the soil, the warm, spicy fragrance of cinnamon. These molecules are not just random bits of matter. They are tiny messengers, carrying the signature of the world around you, waiting to be detected by your senses. When you breathe in, these tiny molecules travel through your nose and enter your nasal cavity, where they meet the olfactory receptors, specialized cells in your nose that are designed to detect and interpret scents. These receptors are sensitive to the chemical structure of the molecules they encounter, and each receptor is tuned to recognize a particular type of molecule. When the molecules of a scent bind to these receptors, they trigger a response, sending signals to your brain, which processes them into a recognizable smell. But the magic doesn't end there. The brain does more than just identify the scent. It interprets it, connects it to memories, emotions, and experiences. The brain has a special area devoted to the sense of smell, known as the olfactory bulb. This part of the brain is closely connected to the limbic system, the area of the brain that controls emotions and memory. This deep connection between smell and memory is why a scent can evoke such a powerful emotional response. The smell of a particular perfume can remind you of a loved one. The scent of fresh-baked bread can bring you back to your childhood home, and the smell of rain can evoke a sense of calm and nostalgia. Smell is, in a sense, the most primal of our senses. It is deeply connected to our survival, to our instincts. In ancient times, our ability to detect scents would have been vital for detecting danger, finding food, and navigating the world. The scent of smoke would warn of a fire, the scent of a predator would signal danger, and the scent of flowers would lead us to food. Even today, our sense of smell remains a powerful guide, helping us to navigate the world in ways that we don't often realize. But smell is also more than just a survival tool. It is a language, a silent, invisible language that connects us to the world in ways that are difficult to express. A familiar scent can evoke a feeling of home, a sense of safety, or a wave of emotion. It can bring back memories, both pleasant and painful, and it can create a sense of connection to others. When you walk into a room and smell the scent of your favorite candle, or the fragrance of a flower in bloom, it is as if the world is speaking to you, telling you something personal, something intimate. There is something deeply mysterious about scent. Unlike sight, which presents the world in vivid color and sharp detail, smell is elusive, subtle, and intangible. It is a sense that exists in the background, yet it plays a profound role in shaping our experience of the world. You may not always be aware of it, but smell shapes your perceptions, your emotions, and your memories in ways that no other sense can. This subtle power of smell can be seen in the way it affects our moods and behavior. The scent of lavender can calm your mind, the smell of citrus can uplift your spirit, and the scent of vanilla can bring comfort. Fragrances can be used to enhance relaxation, to reduce stress, and to improve focus. The power of smell to influence our emotions and behavior is something that we often overlook, but it is a force that is always at work, gently guiding our experience of the world. In fact, the scent of a place can be as distinctive as its appearance. Think of the smell of the forest after a rainstorm, the scent of the ocean on a warm summer evening, or the aroma of freshly cut grass. These smells are not just associated with the place, they are part of the place itself. They are the essence of the environment, the signature of the world that surrounds you. The way a place smells can evoke a sense of peace, of adventure, of connection to the earth. It can tell you about the season, about the weather, about the life that exists there. The smell of a place is as unique as its landscape, and it holds the memory of everything that has happened there. But scent is not only connected to the world around you, it is also deeply tied to your inner world. The way you experience a scent can depend on your mood, your memories, and your emotional state. A scent that once brought you comfort may now bring you sadness, and a smell that once seemed pleasant may now seem overwhelming. The power of smell to shape your inner experience is immense, and it is something that you carry with you throughout your life. This deep connection between scent and memory is why certain smells can evoke such a strong sense of nostalgia. The scent of a childhood home, a favorite meal, or a particular perfume can take you back in time, transporting you to a moment long past. These memories, though distant, feel vivid and real when triggered by the scent that once accompanied them. Smell has a way of anchoring memories, of preserving moments in time in a way that no other sense can. It is as though the scent itself holds the key to the past, to the feelings and emotions of days gone by. And in this way, smell becomes a language of the heart. It speaks to you not just in the present moment, but across time. It is a language that transcends words, that connects you to the world in ways that go beyond the physical. When you smell something familiar, it is as if the world itself is speaking to you, sharing a secret, telling you a story. The language of scent is one that is felt more than understood, one that exists in the spaces between thought and memory. In this quiet world of scent, there is beauty in the simplicity of it all. Each breath you take brings you closer to the world, closer to the people you love, closer to the memories that shape you. The smell of the earth, the air, the food, the flowers, they all come together to create a symphony of experience, one that is always playing in the background, guiding you, shaping you. It is a quiet symphony, one that you don't always hear, but one that is always present, always weaving its subtle melodies into the fabric of your life. And in the end, it is the scent that remains. Long after the light has faded, long after the sounds have quieted, it is the smell that lingers like a quiet memory, a soft echo of the world that once was. It is the scent that connects you to the earth, to the people around you, and to the stories of your life. In this symphony of scent, every note is important, every breath a reminder of the world that surrounds you, and every memory a gift that continues to shape you. The scent of the world surrounds you, an invisible force that shapes every moment of your life. It's there in the air you breathe, in the breeze that brushes against your skin, in the spaces between the moments of your day. Unlike sight, which provides clarity and sharpness, smell offers a subtle, often overlooked kind of awareness. It is a gentle force, unintrusive, yet powerful in its ability to evoke memories, emotions, and sensations. It's the aroma of coffee in the morning, the smell of rain on a warm day, the fragrance of a flower blooming in a garden. Each scent is a memory in the making, a story waiting to unfold. What is it about a particular scent that can instantly transport you to another time, another place? Why does the smell of a certain perfume, a particular meal, or the scent of fresh-cut grass trigger such deep feelings of nostalgia? These seemingly simple smells carry with them the weight of emotions, memories, and experiences. The connection between smell and memory is one of the most profound aspects of the way our senses work. The brain, which processes information from the five senses, has a special connection to smell that is unlike any other sense. The olfactory bulb, the part of the brain responsible for processing scent, is closely connected to the limbic system, the area of the brain that controls emotions and memory. This close link explains why scents can have such a powerful effect on our emotional state, why they can instantly evoke feelings of comfort, joy, sadness, or longing. Smell is not just a passive experience. It is active and deeply personal. Think about how, when you walk into a room, the first thing that hits you might not be the color of the walls or the shape of the furniture, but the smell. The scent of a room, the fragrance of wood, of flowers, of something cooking, can immediately set the tone for the space. A room with the smell of freshly baked bread or a bouquet of flowers feels inviting, warm, and familiar. In contrast, a room with the scent of mildew or stale air may feel cold and unwelcoming. This is the power of smell. It's a silent but potent force that shapes how you experience the world, how you interact with it, and how you feel in it. But smell doesn't just influence the way we perceive the world. It also affects how we interact with it. Consider the way the scent of food can make your mouth water, or how the aroma of a loved one's perfume can bring a smile to your face. Smell has the power to influence behavior, to guide our actions in ways that we are not always aware of. The smell of freshly baked cookies might lead you to the kitchen, while the scent of rain might inspire you to stay inside and relax. These subtle cues shape our decisions, our actions, and even our moods. Imagine walking through a garden filled with blooming flowers. The air is heavy with the fragrance of roses, lilies, and jasmine, each scent blending together into a sweet, intoxicating symphony. As you inhale deeply, your mind is flooded with memories of gardens from your past, perhaps the garden of your childhood home or a vacation you took long ago. The scent of the flowers brings those memories back with startling clarity. You can almost feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, hear the gentle hum of the bees, and see the vibrant colors of the petals. The scent has become a bridge between the present and the past, a connection to something deeper within you. This is the power of smell. It doesn't just remind you of the past, it recreates it. It brings the past into the present, wrapping you in the comfort of memories long buried. When you smell something familiar, it is as though the world itself has paused for a moment, allowing you to step back in time, to relive a moment, to reconnect with something that once mattered. It's as if the scent itself carries the weight of that moment, holding it in place, allowing you to experience it once again. The relationship between smell and memory is so powerful that it can even influence the way we perceive other senses. A pleasant smell can make a delicious meal taste even better, while an unpleasant smell can ruin the experience of eating altogether. The connection between smell and taste is so strong that the two senses often work in tandem. This is why food doesn't just taste good, it smells good too. The aroma of a meal is just as important as the flavor, as it adds another layer of sensory experience, creating a full, rich experience that engages multiple senses at once. The smell of freshly brewed coffee in the morning is as much a part of the experience as the taste of the coffee itself. The scent enhances the flavor, and together they create a moment of joy, of comfort, of familiarity. But smell is not just about personal experience. It is also about connection. The scent of a loved one's perfume, the smell of the earth after a rainstorm, the fragrance of flowers in bloom. These scents connect us to the people, places, and moments that matter most. They create a shared experience, a bond between the past and the present, between individuals and the world around them. When you smell a fragrance that reminds you of a particular person, it's as if that person is with you again, even if they are miles away. The scent becomes a bridge, connecting you to them, even in their absence. In this way, smell has the power to transcend time and space, creating a sense of continuity, of connection that goes beyond the physical world. And just as smell connects us to our past and to others, it also connects us to the world around us. The fragrance of the forest, the smell of the ocean, the scent of the rain, all of these smells are reminders of the earth, of nature, of the cycles that govern life itself. They are a reminder that we are not separate from the world, but a part of it. The earth's smells are not just physical sensations. They are expressions of life, of growth, of change. When you inhale the scent of the forest, the earth, the rain, it is as if you are inhaling the very spirit of nature itself. Smell becomes a language, a silent communicator that tells you everything you need to know about the world around you. Smell in this sense is not just a sense, it is a way of knowing, a way of connecting, a way of being. It is a part of the symphony of the world, playing a quiet but vital role in the orchestra of life. Each scent is a note, each fragrance a melody that carries with it a deeper meaning, a deeper connection to the world and to each other. It is the invisible language that binds us to the earth, to the people we love, and to the memories we carry with us. And in each breath we take, we are reminded that we are not alone, that we are part of something larger, something more profound. The scents of the world are always with us, guiding us, connecting us, reminding us of the beauty and the complexity of life itself. As you breathe in the scent of the world around you, take a moment to appreciate the silent language that is speaking to you. It is a language that doesn't need words, a language that doesn't need explanation. It simply is. The smell of the earth, the air, the flowers, the people. It is all part of the story of life, a story that is written in the very air we breathe. And in that story, you are both the listener and the storyteller, connected to the world in ways that words alone cannot express. The world you walk through is more than just a visual experience. It is a symphony, a harmony of sound, sight, and most often overlooked of all, smell. Every breath you take, every scent you inhale, is a silent note in this symphony. And yet, in our busy lives, we often forget that smell is the very language that speaks to us in ways that no other sense can. It is the scent of rain, the fragrance of a warm meal, the earthy aroma of the woods, all reminders that the world is alive with connection, meaning, and experience. Think about the smell of the earth after a heavy rain. It is fresh, invigorating, and deeply grounding. That scent, the one that fills the air as the rain nourishes the ground, doesn't just speak to your senses. It speaks to your heart, to your very soul. The smell of rain is not just the scent of water on the earth. It is the scent of renewal, of life, of cycles that have been turning for eons. It's as if the earth itself is breathing, inviting you to breathe with it. In this moment, the smell of rain connects you not just to the world, but to something larger, something timeless. And in that fleeting moment, you are reminded that you are part of this world, a part of the grand, ever-turning cycle of life. The symphony of scent is not just about the connection to nature. It is also about the connections between people. The scent of a loved one, the fragrance of their perfume, the warmth of their skin. These are the smells that carry the essence of another person, that speak of intimacy, of love, of connection. Imagine standing close to someone you care about, inhaling their scent. In that moment, that smell becomes more than just a fragrance. It becomes a bridge between two souls, a link that goes beyond words, beyond actions. The smell of someone you love can evoke a sense of home, of safety, of warmth, in a way that no other sense can. It speaks to you in the language of the heart, carrying with it the emotions, the experiences, and the memories that you share with them. Scent, unlike the other senses, works on a deeply subconscious level. It bypasses the logical parts of the brain and speaks directly to the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. This is why scent can trigger such strong emotional reactions. A smell can transport you to another time, another place, with vivid clarity. The smell of freshly baked cookies can remind you of childhood afternoons spent with your grandmother. The scent of pine trees can take you back to a winter holiday, the air crisp and cold, the snow crunching beneath your feet. Smell carries the weight of memory, and it does so in ways that are deeply personal, deeply emotional. But the power of scent goes beyond just memory and emotion. It is also a force that shapes our perceptions of the world. The smell of a room can tell you more about the space than its appearance. A room that smells of lavender, fresh linen, or wood feels inviting, calming, and peaceful. In contrast, a room that smells of stale air, mildew, or food can create a sense of discomfort, even if the room itself is beautiful. The scent of a place shapes your perception of it, and in turn, your emotions about it. This is the power of scent. It is a silent guide, one that shapes your experience of the world in ways that are almost imperceptible but deeply felt. In this way, scent is not just an isolated experience. It is connected to everything. It is connected to nature, to people, to memories, to moments. It is the thread that weaves together the fabric of our lives. Think of the way you experience a familiar scent. When you inhale the scent of your childhood home, it's not just the smell of the house itself. It is the smell of all the memories you've attached to it. The scent becomes a vessel for those memories, carrying with it the feelings, the experiences, and the emotions of your past. It is a bridge to your history, to the moments that have shaped you into who you are today. Smell also connects us to the present, to the moments we experience each day. The scent of your morning coffee, the smell of the air after a thunderstorm, the fragrance of a flower blooming in the garden. All of these scents are deeply tied to the present moment. They are anchors that ground you, that remind you to be here, to experience life as it unfolds. Smell keeps you connected to the now, to the simple joys of the world around you. It is a constant companion, one that subtly guides you through each day, reminding you to stop and breathe, to appreciate the world as it is in this moment. And yet, it is in the absence of scent that we often find the greatest silence. A room without smell feels empty, lacking. The absence of scent can be as profound as its presence, reminding you of the spaces between things, the moments of stillness, of pause. Silence, in this case, is not empty. It is a space in which sense can emerge anew. It is a reminder that even in the stillness, life continues to unfold, to bloom, to breathe. The absence of scent is not an end, but a beginning, a moment of quiet where new fragrances can take root. But even when the world around you is filled with the scent of nature, of people, of memories, the most profound scents often come from within. The smell of your own body, the scent of your skin, your breath, your sweat. These smells, though deeply personal, carry a weight of their own. They speak of your life, of your experiences, of the things you have lived through. The smell of your body is not just the sum of the chemicals it emits. It is the essence of who you are, the story of your life, carried in the subtle fragrances that linger in the air around you. This connection between scent and identity is something that we often take for granted. The way we smell, the way we perceive ourselves and others through scent, plays a significant role in how we relate to the world. It shapes our sense of self, our sense of belonging, and our sense of connection to those around us. The smell of someone you love is not just a fragrance. It is a marker of familiarity, a sign of affection, of intimacy. It is a way of knowing someone, of feeling them even when they are far away. In this way, scent becomes a metaphor for life itself. It is both transient and constant, both fleeting and enduring. The scent of a flower may last for only a few moments, but its memory lingers long after the petals have fallen. The smell of a person may fade with time, but it remains in your memory, a quiet echo of their presence. Scent, like life, is fleeting. But it is also deeply profound, a reminder that even in the smallest of moments, in the simplest of scents, there is beauty, there is meaning, there is connection. As you move through the world, take a moment to appreciate the symphony of scents around you. The world is alive with fragrance, with memory, with meaning. Every scent is a note in the grand composition of life. And in that composition, you are both the listener and the performer, the one who breathes in the world and the one who creates it with every exhale. The language of scent speaks to you in ways that words cannot. It connects you to the world in ways that are subtle, invisible, but profoundly felt. And in that connection, you will find a deeper understanding of the world, a deeper appreciation of life itself. Taste is a quiet language, one that speaks to you without words, without explanation. It's the sweetness of a ripe strawberry, the bitterness of dark chocolate, the saltiness of the ocean breeze. These flavors, though simple in their appearance, are rich with history, with memory, and with a connection to the earth itself. Every time you take a bite, you are participating in a symphony of sensations that are as old as time. The flavors you taste are not just chemicals on your tongue. They are a story, a conversation between your body and the world around you, one that has been unfolding for millions of years. When you take a bite of something sweet, like a piece of fruit or a sugary treat, the first thing you notice is the sensation on your tongue. Your taste buds, those tiny, specialized cells scattered across the surface of your tongue, spring into action. They react to the molecules in the food, sending signals to your brain that tell you exactly what you are tasting. But it's not just a simple process of identification. It is an experience, one that is deeply connected to your memories, your emotions, and your senses. Taste is not just a passive act. It is an active experience, one that involves more than just your mouth. The moment food touches your tongue, it begins to awaken a series of processes within your body. The tongue, with its many taste receptors, begins to discern the flavor of the food. Is it sweet or sour, bitter or salty? Umami, that deep, savory flavor, adds another layer to the experience. Each of these flavors is detected by different areas of the tongue, and each one triggers a different response in the body. The sweetness of a fruit brings a feeling of pleasure, while the saltiness of a chip or the bitterness of coffee might bring a sense of energy, alertness, or even nostalgia. But the experience of taste is not just confined to the tongue. As the food moves from your mouth to your stomach, your body begins to process the flavors in deeper ways. Your brain, which is constantly at work, not only processes the immediate sensations of taste, but also connects them to your memories, your emotions, and even your culture. The taste of a particular dish may evoke memories of a family gathering, of a summer picnic, or of a distant place you once visited. The flavors of food are not just about nourishment. They are about connection, about identity, Tea experience. The food you eat, the flavors you taste, are a reflection of who you are, where you come from, and what you value. In many ways, taste is a deeply personal experience. Each person's palate is unique, shaped by their upbringing, their culture, and their exposure to different foods. Some people might crave the spice of chili peppers, while others might prefer the subtle sweetness of a piece of fruit. Some might delight in the bitterness of dark chocolate, while others might find it too intense. These preferences are shaped by many factors: biology, genetics, and even personal experiences. But even beyond these factors, taste is also an emotional experience. The first bite of a dish made by a loved one, the first taste of a childhood favorite, the familiar flavors of a family recipe, all of these are deeply tied to our emotions. The act of tasting is not just a physical process. It is an emotional journey, one that connects us to our memories, to our past, and to the people we love. Consider for a moment the first time you tasted something new, something exotic, something that you had never experienced before. The excitement, the curiosity, the wonder of that first bite. The world of flavor suddenly opened up to you in a new way, and you found yourself captivated by the complexity of taste. Whether it was a new spice, a foreign fruit, or a unique combination of ingredients, that first experience of taste was a revelation. It was not just the flavor you were tasting, it was the world. The world of taste, of culture, of possibility. And with each bite, each taste, you began to explore, to learn, to understand the infinite variety of flavors that exist in the world. But the experience of taste is not just about the moment of tasting itself. It is also about the anticipation, the memory, and the reflection that follow. The smell of food cooking, the visual appeal of a dish, the texture of the food as it touches your tongue, all of these elements contribute to the experience of taste. And it is not just about the food itself. It is about the context in which the food is eaten. The atmosphere, the people around you, the environment, these all shape the experience of taste. A meal shared with friends is not just about the food. It is about the connections, the laughter, the stories shared over the table. The act of eating is a social experience, one that brings people together, that creates bonds, that strengthens relationships. Taste, then, is more than just a sense. It is a language, a connection to the world around us. It is a language that speaks of memory, of identity, of culture. It tells the story of who we are and where we come from. And just as light guides our vision and sound shapes our understanding of the world, taste guides our connection to the earth and to each other. It is the symphony of flavors, a melody that plays in our mouths and in our hearts, one bite at a time. But what happens when we lose the ability to taste? When illness or age steals away this sense, the world changes. Food becomes less vibrant, less meaningful. The connection between food and emotion fades, and meals become less about enjoyment and more about necessity. The loss of taste is not just a loss of a sense, it is a loss of connection. It is a reminder of how deeply taste is intertwined with our identity, with our memories, with our emotions. And when that connection is gone, the world feels emptier, less rich. The colors of the world become duller and the sounds become quieter. Without taste, the world becomes less alive. Taste, then, is a precious gift, a gift that connects us to the world, to the people around us, and to ourselves. It is a gift that should be cherished, that should be savored, for it speaks to us in ways that no other sense can. It is a silent language, one that carries with it the weight of memory, emotion, and experience. And in every bite, in every taste, we are reminded of the beauty of the world, of the richness of life, of the connections that make us who we are. As you take a moment to savor the next bite of food, whether it's the sweetness of a fruit or the warmth of a meal shared with loved ones, remember that taste is not just a sense, it is an experience. It is a way of connecting with the world, with the people around you, and with yourself. And in every taste, you are part of a larger story, a story of connection, of discovery, of life. There is something beautifully intimate about the way taste connects us to the world. The world of flavor is a vast landscape, full of subtle nuances, powerful contrasts, and infinite possibilities. Every flavor that touches your tongue carries a story, a sensation that is both universal and deeply personal. The sharpness of citrus, the smoothness of chocolate, the heat of chili, each taste is not just a chemical reaction. It is an experience, a doorway to a deeper understanding of the world. Imagine for a moment the first time you tasted something entier. New, something that challenged your senses, something that seemed foreign yet fascinating. Perhaps it was the first bite of a bitter herb, the richness of a spice you had never encountered before, or the deep umami flavor of a dish from another culture. That first bite was more than just a new taste. It was a journey, a discovery. With each bite, you were transported to another world, to a new way of experiencing the world through your senses. The sharpness of the flavor, the complexity of the taste, all spoke of a culture, a history, and a story that was waiting to be discovered. Taste, in its most fundamental form, is a guide, a map that leads you through the world, one bite at a time. When you bite into an apple, for example, you don't just taste sweetness. You taste the history of the fruit, the soil it grew in, the sun that nurtured it, the rain that nourished it. You taste the years of evolution that have shaped this fruit, the careful cultivation, the care that went into its creation. Every flavor is a reflection of the earth itself, a story told through the language of molecules. The apple, in all its simplicity, carries within it the complex narrative of the world that produced it. But taste is not just about the food itself. It is also about the way the food interacts with your body, your senses, and your mind. The moment food touches your tongue, it begins to awaken a cascade of sensations. The bitterness of coffee, the tang of lemon, the smoothness of a ripe avocado, they all trigger unique responses in your brain, activating pathways that are deeply connected to your memories, your emotions, and your sense of well-being. The body, through the tongue, not only identifies flavors, it processes them, connects them to past experiences, and imbues them with meaning. The bitter taste of coffee might remind you of mornings spent at a favorite cafe. The sweetness of a strawberry might evoke the warmth of a summer picnic, and the umami of a stew might call to mind the comfort of a family dinner. Every flavor is a piece of a larger puzzle, a story that is shaped by the context in which you experience it. Taste is also an emotional experience, deeply intertwined with our sense of identity and our memories. The food we eat, the flavors we enjoy, are not just about nourishment, they are about connection. Food is something we share with others, something that brings us together, whether in celebration or in solace. Think about the smell of bread baking in the oven. It is not just the scent of flour and yeast. It is the scent of warmth, of home, of comfort. It is a scent that speaks of family, of shared meals, of tradition. When you taste that bread, it is not just a flavor on your tongue. It is the memory of every meal you've ever shared, every kitchen you've ever been in, every hand that has shaped that dough. In this way, taste becomes a bridge, a connection between the external world and the internal world of memory, emotion, and experience. The food you eat, the flavors you taste, are more than just nutrients for your body. They are a language that speaks directly to your heart, to your memories, and to your deepest desires. The taste of a favorite dish can evoke feelings of comfort, nostalgia, and love. It can transport you to another time, another place, where the world felt simpler, where the moments of joy were wrapped in the flavors of home. But it is not only the familiar flavors that hold power over us. The unfamiliar, the strange, the exotic also have their own magic. When you taste something new, something that challenges your expectations, it is as if the world opens up in a new way. The first time you tasted a new spice, a foreign fruit, or an unfamiliar herb, you didn't just experience a new flavor, you experienced a new world. Every new flavor is a doorway to understanding, a way of connecting with a culture, a place, a people. The food of another country speaks of its history, its geography, and its people. The spices of India, the herbs of the Mediterranean, the flavors of Japan, they all carry with them the essence of their origins, and in tasting them, you are tasting a piece of the world itself. Taste, therefore, is a powerful teacher. It teaches you about the world around you, about the cultures that shape it, and about the people who create the foods you eat. But it also teaches you about yourself. Your preferences, your aversions, your likes and dislikes all reflect something about your inner world. The flavors you crave, the tastes that bring you comfort, the foods that evoke joy, these are not just random preferences. They are reflections of who you are, of where you come from, of what you value. The simple act of eating becomes an exploration, an ongoing discovery of the self. When you eat something that brings you joy, something that you love, you are not just satisfying your body's need for nourishment. You are nurturing your soul, your sense of belonging, your connection to the world. And when you taste something that challenges you, something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, you are learning, growing, and expanding your sense of self. Every meal is an opportunity to connect to the world, to others, and to yourself. But taste is also a reminder of the fragility of life. The fleeting nature of a meal, the temporary satisfaction of a meal enjoyed, speaks of the impermanence of everything. The sweetness of a fruit, the richness of a dish, the warmth of a cup of tea, these are moments, fleeting and precious. And yet in those fleeting moments, there is a depth of experience, a richness that transcends time. The act of tasting, of savoring, of being fully present in the moment becomes a meditation on life itself. It is a reminder that life is not just about the destination, but about the journey, about the small, simple moments that make up the whole. Taste, then, is not just a sensory experience. It is a way of being in the world. It connects us to the earth, to others, and to ourselves. It is a language that speaks to us in ways that no other sense can. It is a symphony of flavors, a melody that plays on our tongues, in our hearts, and in our memories. And as we taste the world around us, we are reminded of the beauty of life itself, of the simple, fleeting moments that make us feel truly alive. So the next time you take a bite of something, whether it's a meal shared with friends or a solitary moment of enjoyment, take a moment to pause and appreciate the flavor. Let it fill you, let it transport you, and let it connect you to the world. For in each bite, in each taste, you are experiencing the symphony of life, one flavor at a time. As you reflect on the world of taste, you begin to realize that it is not just the physical act of eating that shapes your experience. It is the deeper, almost mysterious relationship between flavor and memory. Taste is the invisible thread that connects you to moments long past, to experiences that are rooted deeply in your emotional landscape. Every flavor carries within it a story, a memory, a feeling, a piece of your own journey. The act of tasting becomes not just a simple biological process, but a deeply personal ritual, a way of engaging with the world, with others, and with yourself. Imagine, for a moment, the taste of something familiar, the first bite of your favorite dish, whether it's a beloved comfort food from your childhood or a dish you discovered later in life that holds a special place in your heart, carries with it a wealth of meaning. It's not just the taste of the ingredients, but the emotional weight of the experience. Perhaps it's the warmth of the kitchen where it was prepared, the voices of loved ones gathered around the table, or the memories of a time when everything felt simpler. The flavor you taste is like a doorway, a passage to a moment in time, a connection to the people, the places, and the experiences that shaped you. This ability of taste to carry meaning, to evoke deep emotional responses, is one of the most profound aspects of the sense. Taste doesn't just give us information about the world, it gives us access to the hidden corners of our minds, the places where our memories and emotions reside. The smell of your grandmother's cooking, the taste of your favorite childhood snack, the familiar flavor of a dish from home. These tastes are portals to the past, reminders of the people who shaped your life, the moments that defined you. The flavors you love, the ones you crave, are the ones that are inextricably linked to who you are, to the person you've become. They are your own private language, speaking to you through the flavors you encounter every day. Yet the world of taste is not solely about the past. It is also about the present, about how you engage with the world around you, with the moment at hand. When you take that first bite of something new, something you've never tasted before, the experience is just as profound. The new flavor might surprise you, delight you, or challenge you. It might be a combination of tastes you never thought would go together, a mixture of flavors that awakens your senses in unexpected ways. The first taste of a new food is an act of discovery, an exploration of the unknown. It invites you into a new world, one that is waiting for you to understand it, to experience it, to savor it. But what makes these new flavors so impactful? What is it about the first taste that makes it feel so significant? The answer lies not just in the flavor itself, but in the act of tasting. The first bite of something unfamiliar is not just about the physical sensation of flavor. It is about the connection you form with that flavor, with that experience. You are learning, exploring, opening yourself to something new. You are participating in the world, in the sensory experience of life. And in that participation, you are shaping the world, making it your own. Each taste, whether familiar or new, is a reflection of the world in which we live. The flavors of food are not just random. They are shaped by geography, by climate, by culture. The taste of a mango, sweet and tart, speaks of the warm sun and the tropical soils where it was grown. The taste of a rich, savory stew carries with it the traditions and history of the people who have been cooking it for generations. The flavors we taste are as much a reflection of the earth as they are of the hands that prepare them. In every bite, we are reminded that we are part of a larger story, one that connects us to the land, to history, and to the people around us. But taste is not just about connecting with the world. It is also about connecting with ourselves. Every meal is an opportunity to reflect, to slow down, to be present. In a world that is constantly moving, constantly changing, the act of eating offers a rare chance to pause, to savor, to appreciate the beauty of the moment. The rhythm of eating, the way we taste, chew, and savor each bite, becomes a ritual, a way of grounding ourselves in the present. It is a way of saying, I am here, of acknowledging the gift of nourishment, the pleasure of flavor, the richness of life itself. In these moments of quiet reflection, when the flavors unfold on your tongue, you are reminded of the simplicity and complexity of life. The way food connects you to others, to your past, to the world around you, it is a reminder that the simple pleasures of life are often the most profound. The sweetness of a fruit, the richness of a savory dish, the warmth of a shared meal. These are the things that make life worth living, the things that connect us to the world, to each other, and to ourselves. And so, as you sit down to eat, take a moment to truly experience the flavors before you. Taste them not just with your mouth, but with your whole being. Let the flavors awaken your senses. Let them tell you their story. Let them connect you to the world in ways that are both subtle and profound. Each meal, each bite, is a chance to engage with life in a way that is both simple and deep, both fleeting and eternal. For in the act of tasting, we connect with the very essence of life itself. And it is in these connections that we find meaning, joy, and beauty. Taste is not just a sense, it is a way of knowing, a way of being. It connects us to the world in ways that are both personal and universal. It is the language that speaks to our hearts, to our memories, and to our experiences. It is a bridge between the past and the present, between the self and the world. And as you take that next bite, remember that you are not just tasting food, you are tasting life itself. You are tasting the universe, one flavor at a time. In the end, it is the act of tasting that makes life rich and meaningful. It is through taste that we connect with the world, that we engage with the people we love, and that we reflect on our own journey. Whether it is the sweetness of a fruit, the bitterness of coffee, or the warmth of a home-cooked meal, every flavor is a reminder that life is full of flavor, full of richness, full of meaning. And as you continue to taste the world, let each flavor be a celebration, a reminder of the beauty of life, of the connections we share, and of the experiences that make life truly worth living.